Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to address something that a lot of people face and a lot of professional actors face, which is stage fright. After acting for 12 years, I can say that it has never completely gone away. Depending on the role, depending on what I'm doing, whether it be film or theater, I still have some timidness or some stage fright. Just kind of depending on what I'm doing. It'll just creep up every now and then. Everybody kind of has a different comfort level. Some people are so comfortable on stage and don't think anything of it, and some people are petrified. So I just wanted to share with you some different tips that have helped me throughout the years to get over stage fright. I ate a mango and I think it's in my teeth. Just for a little backstory on me, when I was a kid, I was actually extraordinarily shy and introverted, and I would have never thought I would end up being on stage and pursuing acting. I was so terrified of attention when I was a kid. I remember seeing footage of people's weddings, or maybe seeing weddings in a movie or something, and breaking down because I was so afraid to get married, because the idea of walking down the aisle and having an entire room of people looking at me was horrifying to me as a kid. And then around age 10 or 11, my best friend started doing plays when we were in elementary school, and I thought it was super cool and I wanted to be a part of it. So I did my first audition, which I did not get in. It was kind of one of those like mass corral of children, and everybody got a part except for me and one other girl. And it was because while I auditioned, I was so afraid to look around the room at the people that I closed my eyes, I think, for most of the audition. And then age 11 was when I was in my first play. It was a production of Seussical. I was a Wickersham and Cindy Lou Who. That was my first performance. And obviously I was absolutely no good, but I learned something then that I later studied in college, and I didn't realize what it was until I studied it. And what I learned in acting school was to focus all your energy on your scene partner. What I did when I was 11 is that I was having just so much fun with my friends on stage that the audience kind of disappeared and I didn't really notice them, which of course is the goal, right? You hope that you can just do a scene and live in that moment and not have to acknowledge the audience necessarily, depending on the role. So in studying it in college, we learned to really just focus on your scene partner and to drive all your attention into them, to not think about the audience, to not think about people looking at you. And by focusing on them, giving them all of your energy, all of your attention, you're going to be listening better as an actor, which means you're just going to be acting better. You're going to be a better scene partner. You're going to be much more in the moment, and hopefully the audience kind of drowns away. Now, I will say the hardest roles for me have been roles where I need to address the audience. I've been in so many Shakespeare shows, and specifically I played Lady Macbeth in this weird, it wasn't like theater in the round, but we did it in like an aisle, so there was audience on this side and audience on this side facing each other, and we performed down a strip in the center. It was super weird, super cool. But if you know the play at all, Lady Macbeth has her whole final scene where she's insane, she's sleepwalking and completely crazy, and she's talking to herself. I tell you yet again, Banquo is buried. He cannot come out of one's grave. To bed. To bed! And I remember my director pitching me the idea to talk to the audience, to pinpoint people in the audience as like the spirits that she's seeing. And while I loved that idea and I thought it would be super haunting, especially for those audience members, I had the hardest time doing that. I think there's just something super vulnerable about having, like, holding eye contact with someone, but to hold eye contact with someone while performing a play and kind of breaking that fourth wall was very difficult for me. Something else that helps if you're performing at like an actual theater, usually the stage lights that are shining on you are so bright that you can't actually see the audience, which I find to be very helpful. Another helpful hint is just before you go on stage for me, I have like these rituals of just calming myself, but essentially it's just a form of meditation. I have this ritual before I go on stage to sit down for just like 5 minutes and literally just close my eyes and just focus on my breathing, and to focus on my character, and to see myself walking out on stage doing an amazing job. Sometimes I'll run through my lines just really quick for whichever scene I'm about to do, and I've found that that really helps to just find stillness and to just really focus on your breathing before going on stage, to sit in a comfortable position. I love to sit cross-legged, like leaning up against a wall, and to just know, like, just to tell yourself that you're gonna do an amazing job, that the audience is gonna love your performance, to just picture yourself giving the best performance that you can, to focus on your scene partner, to focus on the inner dialogue of your character and whatever emotional state that they need to enter the scene in. Just get inside yourself as the character rather than focus on the audience paying attention to you. I think the biggest thing that affects whether I have stage fright or not is how prepared I am. When I'm not prepared, of course I'm gonna be nervous and I'm gonna be afraid of dropping lines, and if I'm not completely off book, if I'm like 95% off book and there's like those few couple lines that I'm still struggling with, those are of course the times where I'm going to be the most afraid to be on stage and the most fearful of the audience, because I'm just focusing the whole time on trying to remember my lines. So I will say preparation is key. Now, things happen and adrenaline is high and your nerves are high, and maybe someone else drops a line, or maybe somebody else screws up blocking, or you miss a sound cue, whatever it may be. Yes, you can still be extremely prepared and still have things go wrong on stage. That's just part of the beauty of doing live theater. But if you are so prepared, you know your lines in and out, you know exactly what's going on in the scene, that is when I find I don't tend to have very much stage fright, because I know that I can go out there and rock it. If I've rehearsed a bunch with my scene partner, those are the times that I'm actually really excited for an audience to come see a show rather than afraid or nervous. So I would say prepare, prepare, prepare. That's probably the best advice I could give you, because that will make the difference between you being excited versus you being scared. Every actor has a different way of having that mental switch between you and your character. Some people are entirely themselves and kind of just show their character on the outside through costuming or whatever. Some people go the complete opposite end and are like extremist method actors and will put themselves so deeply into the mindset of the character, and kind of everything in between. So this might not work for a lot of people, but for me, it also helps to set my personal Haley ego aside and remember that I am playing a character. And so whatever the audience is seeing isn't me, and that I find a lot of comfort in, because then that gives me permission to go out there and to humiliate myself and to do something insane, to do something super violent. When I set Haley's ego aside, when I step out of Haley Jackson and into the shoes of my character and really think about the fact that the audience is seeing a character, not me, it's seeing the words and the actions of somebody else, that really gives me another confidence boost to not be worried about what the audience is thinking of me, because they're not seeing me, they're seeing somebody else, they're seeing a different character. I am a very physical actor. I tend to get more into character by wearing my costume, figuring out my posture, figuring out how my character speaks, and all of those things. Again, you might be an internal actor, so whatever works for you. But what I've found to be really helpful also about to go on stage, I like to really exert myself right before going on stage. And the idea behind that is to feel something physical in your body and identify it mentally with your character's want. And I know that's a really hard thing to try and summarize in a YouTube video, but I'm gonna do my best job. I'm also gonna do a different video later on about physicality and how I get into character, so more to come with that. But like basically I'll hold a plank, or I'll do as many push-ups as I can, or I'll run a lap around the building, something that really exerts me physically, because that gets you out of your headspace and puts you into your body. I don't know why that works for me, but I think about my character's goal and their mission. And I find that really helpful because then I'm not sitting there waiting for my cue, getting really into my head about what I look like or what my lines are, whatever it may be. I'm just completely becoming this physical thing. I've got a physical goal, I'm doing push-ups, I'm running, whatever it may be, and that really pulls me out of my headspace and puts just me into my body in the moment. That can also help as like an acting exercise to do something like that while saying your lines. So there you go. I don't want to overwhelm you with like a whole bunch of different concepts. Those are the main ones that have made a significant difference for me. So be prepared, do your preparation work beforehand, and that is going to help you tremendously. Focus on your scene partner because all that actually matters is them and what you want and what you're trying to do. The audience should hopefully melt away. Meditate, have a moment of stillness, of peace, know that you are going to do a good job, maybe run your lines if you need to, and just focus on your breathing, and then exerting yourself physically right before you need to be in character gets you out of your head and puts everything into your body. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe for more tips. My goal is to share with you everything that I learned in acting school. I was extremely fortunate and blessed to get to be educated in acting, so I want to share all of that knowledge with you guys for free. So please hit subscribe if you'd like more videos. I have another video that I made recently about starting to develop your character and how to memorize your lines, so that helps with step 1 of preparedness. So go watch those if you would like, and also put in the comments down below if you have any questions. I know these were a lot of like vast concepts, so if anything wasn't clear, let me know and I can do another video to describe it better or explain something better. Or if you just have other questions about acting, film school, theater, film, anything like that, please let me know. Thank you guys so much. Love you, and have a beautiful day.